Chair now recognizes Hayden Ratner, Chairman of the Committee on Order of Business, for a report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. It has been an awesome, eventful night. Let's keep it going with some more business. The Committee on Order of Business reports to the convention its disposition for some of the motions made during the morning session. Our rationale. No, I'm just playing. I just wanted to say that. SBC Bylaw 26 provides that motions which deal with the internal operations or ministries of an entity shall be automatically referred to the elected board of the entity for consideration and report to the next annual meeting of the convention. Therefore, the Committee on Order of Business determined these motions be automatically referred to the representative SBC Bylaw 14 entities as follows. James Briggs, to the North American Mission Board, presented a motion to request that the North American Mission Board put together a task force to study the need for Christian schools in impoverished and rural communities. To the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, Joe Sneed presented a motion to direct the Ethics and Religious Committee to issue a formal apology to the Executive Committee for accusations of covering up sexual abuse. To all the entities, Jonathan Paramore presented a motion to request that all convention entities revise their codes of conduct related to alcohol. Curtis Kentmer presented a motion to request entity trustees to explain how Calvinism/Reformed theology is compatible with the Baptist Faith and Message 2000 and consider not promoting those beliefs in their entities. Ethan Hester presented a motion to direct the Executive Committee to publish a schedule of payments of more than $5,000 paid to another entity.
And so that one is referred to all the entities and the Executive Committee.
Correct.
Okay. So under the convention's rules, these motions are referred as indicated by the Committee on Order of Business.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. It is the convention's long-standing practice that motions regarding complex matters be referred to the Executive Committee for its consideration. Under the standing rules of this convention, all the amendments to the Constitution, bylaws, and Baptist Faith and Message are automatically referred to the Executive Committee in their first year of proposal. Ethan Jago presented a motion to amend Article 6 of the SBC Constitution related to qualifications for trustee service. Brian D. out of Tennessee presented a motion to amend Bylaw 26B to allow for additional time for questions during entity reports. Respectfully, Brian. Clay Hall out of Kentucky presented a motion to amend Article 6 of the SBC Constitution to require all entities to publish their conflict of interest policies. Stephen Lawrence presented a motion to amend the Baptist Faith and Message to include the Nicene Creed.
Under the convention's rules, these motions are referred as indicated by the Committee on Order of Business. Microphone 3A, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
I'm Rich Starnes, pastor messenger, North Shore Baptist Church, Rocky Mount, Missouri. I move to suspend Operating Rule 6 as to Stephen Lawrence's motion to adopt the Nicene Creed into the Baptist Faith and Message.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. So please give your motion to the page, and this is not debatable. It's not amendable. It's a motion to suspend the standing rule of the convention. It requires a majority vote to suspend the rule. To suspend this rule. As many as are in favor of suspending the rule, please raise your ballots. Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, please raise your ballots. Thank you. You may lower them. There not being 2/3 in the majority, the motion is lost. Oh, they're not being a majority. Those opposed have it, and the motion's lost. So, back to Hayden.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Committee determined that the following motions should be referred for consideration and report to the 2025 Southern Baptist Convention. Talmadge Fogg presented a motion to request the president adopt a task force to study Philippine indigenous Baptist pastors. That was to the International Mission Board. To the Executive Committee, Benjamin Henkin presented a motion to request that the Executive Committee create a task force to study how best to minister to the special needs community. Casey Fender presented a motion to direct the Executive Committee to publish a schedule of all money spent on legal matters between 2021 and 2024. David Miller presented a motion to request the Executive Committee to publish the names of messengers on both sides of the name tag, and to that we said, amen. Worthy of a clap, let's go. Greg Kite presented a motion to direct the Executive Committee to publish a schedule of all money spent on legal matters between 2024. Wesley Russell presented a motion to direct the Executive Committee to publish the contact information for all entity trustees. Jared Burdick presented a motion to direct the Executive Committee to form a task force to study the long-term effects of vaccine mandates on the International Mission Board missionaries.
It's moved from the Committee on Order of Business to refer these motions as displayed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the vote. As many as are in favor of referring these motions, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. Those in favor have it, and the motions are referred.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Order of Business recommends that the chair rule the following motions are not in order as they direct an entity or are in conflict with the convention's governing documents. Andy Brown presented a motion to ask messengers to affirm the Nicene Creed. The motion is in the nature of a resolution. Zach Reno presented a motion to request Pastors Conference presidents to set apart time for guided prayer during the event. The SBC may not direct the Pastors Conference schedule. Charles Johnson presented a motion to prohibit cooperative program funds being used to pay for entity personnel to attend the SBC annual meeting to serve as messengers. The motion directs the entities. Matt Dunn presented a motion to request all convention entities release a statement supporting the nation of Israel. The motion is in the nature of a resolution. Thank you.
Chair rules that the motions displayed on the screen are not in order for the reasons given. Okay.
Thank you so much. The Committee on Order of Business announces that the following motions are scheduled for consideration as follows. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning at 8:50 a.m., Lewis Cook presented a motion to censure Albert Mueller, Ben Mandrell, and Bart Barber for signing on to an amicus brief related to sexual abuse. Joel B. presented a motion to request the president to appoint a task force to examine all legal matters related to the North American Mission Board between 2017 and 2024. And Tom Askell presented a motion to abolish the ERLC.
And the motions given are scheduled as requested. And does that conclude your report?
It does, with just one quick nuance.
Sure. Just a moment. Microphone 9A, would you state your name, your church, and your motion or point of order?
John Michael LaRue, pastor of the Bridge Church, Miamisburg, Ohio. I have a point of parliamentary question. The motion to censure, is that not in the language of a resolution expressing a disposition of this body against someone else, and therefore would be a motion that could not be made during that time, since it's in the form of a resolution asking us to decide upon something? I have had the understanding that no censure motions could be made.
So, motion to censure is actually a class of motion spelled out in Robert's Rules of Order.
Yes. Which is
and therefore it is not categorized as a resolution, and it is in order. The point is not well taken.
4.
Microphone 9A, is there still someone there who's wishing to make a motion? No. Microphone 4A, would you state your name, your church, and your motion?
John Boquist, River Rock Church, Caroline County, Virginia. Mr. President, were these only about motions made this morning or this afternoon as well?
The Committee on Order of Business processes motions as quickly as they can. Some of them are clearly understood because of their relation to Robert's Rules of Order or to the governing documents of the convention. Some of them require more research or more time. You made a whole lot of motions today, and we had only that brief period of time between the two meetings to come to a conclusion on all of them. There are remaining motions to be reported out at subsequent reports from the Committee on Order of Business. What is it? Microphone 9A, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion? Nobody's there. Okay. All right, very good. Well, then the chair is going to say that we're going to have our closing prayer and we're going to get out of here.
Mr. President, just a brief mention that the...
I was going to let him go.
Oh.
No, go
Let's
ahead.
let him go.
No, go ahead. I'm kidding.
I just did want to make a mention that the resolution committee will be finishing their report tomorrow in the morning session at the 8:50 hour as well, and would encourage everybody to get up early and get in the room to finish strong tomorrow. Thank you, SBC family.